Hello wine people, welcome to Thirsty and Wise, where we simplify wine. My name is Peter and I'm a wine educator. In this video, I'll explain everything what you need to know about 3 Italian black grape varieties, Nebbiolo, Barbera and Corvina. Everything what you need to know for your WSET Level 2 in wines. On Thirsty and Wise YouTube channel, we want to simplify the world of wine. We want to make wine more simple, fun and approachable for everybody. If this is something that you're interested in, please consider joining us, subscribe, and let's change the world of wine together. And let's start this video. Okay, wine people, let's talk about Nebbiolo, Barbera, and Corvina. I'll explain everything what you need to know and what is relevant for you to know about these grapes for you to be successful for your WSET Level 2 in wines. I'll explain the style, viticulture, winemaking, appellations, and on the end, I will answer 10 example questions. So let's go. Nebbiolo, Barbera and Corvina, all 3 grape varieties are important for the regions in North Italy. Barbera and Nebbiolo come from the region of Piedmont, which is located in the northwest corner of Italy, and Corvina comes from the region of Veneto, which is on the northeast part of Italy. I have maps in this video and I'll show you where that is. I just want to answer a question that I get from WSET students, and it's a very valid question and a concern, Peter. How can we remember all these appellations and grape varieties, especially grapes that are very similar in the flavor profile? So meaning there's a lot of grapes, white grapes that have aromas of lemon, peach, green apple, mango, black grapes that have aromas of red fruit, black fruit. How can I remember all the small differences between these grapes? Well, the point with appellations, I made a video on all the white and red wine appellations for WSET Level 2 in wines. So please see these videos, and you need to understand that remembering appellations, it's a very dry information that basically you need to remember it as it is. There's no other way. The best way to learn this dry information is repetition. So watch the videos, read the book, write these appellations down, and do this several times until you remember. The second thing is also to remember to cross-reference them, to associate them with a certain grape variety. So try to associate them, repeat this, and you should be able, after some time, to remember them. On the beginning it's difficult, but it will get easier. Regarding the grape varieties, how you're going to tell the difference between them is don't focus just on the flavor profile. So first of all, you need to understand that the climate influences the flavor profile of the grape, especially for white grapes. White grapes, they change the flavor profile based on the level of ripeness, meaning on the climate. So if the grapes are coming from a cool climate, they're going to be dominated by citrus and green fruit. If they're coming from a more warmer climate, they're going to be dominated by stone fruit and tropical fruit. Same grape variety from a different climate will taste differently. For black grapes, don't just focus if the wine is dominated by red or black fruit. Also take in consideration for all wines, white and red wines, acidity, alcohol, tannin, levels of ripeness, levels of complexity, any specific aroma. And when you take all this into consideration, you will be able to answer correctly the questions on the exam. And also on the exam, they will give you, for example, a description of the wine or a grape, and then you will be asked to recognize what is the grape or the appellation. In many cases, they offer, let's say they give you a description of, they give you a black grape, and then in the description of the wine, they give you 2 white wines and 2 red wine descriptions. So if they ask you about Cabernet Sauvignon, but in the description you see 2 answers that are actually description of a white wine, you have 50 chance to answer the rest of the question correctly. And then if you know that Cabernet Sauvignon is high in acidity, high in tannin, dominated by black fruit, specific aroma of bell pepper, you should be able to answer that question correctly. So I hope this helps. Let's focus on these 3 grape varieties. Let's start with Nebbiolo. Nebbiolo is pale to medium in color, produces dry wines that are high in acidity, medium to high in alcohol, high in tannin, full body. Nebbiolo produces very complex wines in Barolo, dominated by rose, violet, flowery aromas, red fruit, and dried herbs. Barbera produces dry wines that are high in acidity but medium to low in tannin, medium to high in alcohol, dominated by red fruit. Corvina can produce dry wines, can produce sweet wines, is high in acidity, medium to high in alcohol, medium to low in tannin, light to full body, and dominated by red fruit. Okay. Viticulture and winemaking, what is relevant for you to know for Nebbiolo? Nebbiolo is one of the best grape varieties in the world. It's very specific. It produces wines, it has skin that is very thin, produces wines that are pale to medium in color, but produces wines that are high in tannin. It shows its best qualities in a moderated climate like Piedmont. It produces only varietal wines. Nebbiolo doesn't really need any other grape variety to be blended. Oak can be aged in a new or old oak. There's a big gap in philosophy of the younger and older generation, how Nebbiolo should be aged, new or old oak. Older generation believes big old barrels are better, where the new generation believes that smaller new oak is better. Anyway, it's a discussion, philosophy discussion. With age, the wine develops mushroom tobacco and leather aromas. Barbera produces varietal wines in Piemonte. It can be aged in oak, so Barbera can produce very simple, fruity, everyday drinking wine, but it can also produce very complex and age-worthy wines that with age get more complex. Corvina, in Veneto, it's mainly used in blends, where it's blended with other local grape varieties. It can age in oak, the better high quality versions, and it goes through a very specific winemaking technique called appassimento, where the grapes are picked, they're dried before fermentation, and then the final wine that you get, it can be dry or sweet, but it's going to be very rich and powerful. So this is how appassimento grapes look. They get picked usually a little bit earlier than regular grapes. They leave them in special rooms to dry out. The water dries from the grapes, and everything else like acidity, sugar levels increase. Also the level of color and tannin increases in these grapes. And the wines that are produced are rich and concentrated. Appellations that you need to know. 2 wines that are coming from Piemonte are Nebbiolo and Barbera. 2 specific appellations that you need to know for Nebbiolo are Barolo and Barbaresco DOCG. And for Barbera, you need to remember appellation of Barbera d'Asti. Many times there's many appellations in Italy where the name of the appellation is the grape together with the town that is coming from. So in this case is Barbera from the town of Asti. Corvina comes from Veneto. It has 4 different appellations that you need to understand, and the appellation difference is in where the grapes are coming from and a specific style that is produced. So a basic quality of Valpolicella is coming from the appellation of Valpolicella DOC. It is the whole region, I'll show you, of Valpolicella, and the wines are dry, simple red wines. Step up in quality, it comes from the appellation of Valpolicella Classico, DOC. So these are dry red wines that are a little higher in quality than basic Valpolicella. Then there's two wines that are made with appassimento method. The first one is a dry, sometimes it's off dry with a little bit touch of residual sugar. It's called Amarone del Valpolicella, so dry to off dry, a complex, powerful wine. And then the sweet version is called Recioto della Valpolicella, so it's a sweet and complex red wine made from Corvina that goes through appassimento method. Below is the north map of Italy. On the left you have Piemonte, and on the right you have the region of Veneto. So Piemonte is here in the northwest corner of Italy. How are you going to remember where it is? The capital is Torino, if you watch football, the football club Juventus. And then Veneto is here between Friuli Venezia Giulia and Trentino Alto Adige, and the capital is Verona. Well, I'm not sure if it's the capital, but anyway, Romeo and Juliet, Verona, that's how you're gonna remember. Appellations that you need to remember in Piemonte is Barolo, is here, Barbaresco is here, and then in the middle is the town of Alba. Valpolicella, all this in pink, is Valpolicella, and then Valpolicella Classico is here on the west side. Ready for the questions? Let's go. Which is not true about Nebbiolo? Comes from Piemonte, has high acidity and tannin, pale in color, it doesn't have potential for aging. D. No potential for aging. This is the correct answer, but it's not correct for Nebbiolo. Nebbiolo has a lot of potential for aging. Which appellation produces wines from Nebbiolo? Barolo, Barbera d'Asti, Chianti, Valpolicella. The correct answer is A. Barolo. What town is associated to Barbera appellation? Barolo, Barbaresco, Alba, Verona. The correct answer is C. Alba, Barbera de Alba. What is not correct about Barbera? Has high acidity, produces only simple wines, has red fruit aromas, medium in tannin. The correct answer is B. Produces only simple wines. This is not true. Barbera can produce simple wines, but there's also appellations that focus on premium Barbera wines. Which is not an appellation for Corvina? Valpolicella, Valpolicella Classico, Amarone de Valpolicella, Gavi. The correct answer is D. Gavi. Gavi is located in Piemonte for white wines. Which appellation produces sweet wine? Valpolicella, Valpolicella Classico, Amarone de Valpolicella, Recioto della Valpolicella. The correct answer is D. Recioto della Valpolicella. Which appellation produces most powerful dry style of Corvina? Valpolicella, Valpolicella Classico, Amarone de Valpolicella, Recioto de Valpolicella. The correct answer is C. Amarone de Valpolicella. Which is not correct about Amarone de Valpolicella? Has high alcohol, it's sweet, it's full-bodied, it has ripe fruit and complex aromas. The correct answer is B, it's sweet. It's not sweet, it's dry, maybe sometimes off dry, touch of sweetness, but it's not sweet. What does term Classico indicate? Original area of the region, hilly area, smaller area, all the above. The correct answer is all the above. I'm not sure if I explained this. Classico is a term that is found on many, on few Italian wines. It indicates the original area of the whole region, and area that is usually smaller than the whole region, and it's more hillier and produces higher quality wines than the rest of the region. Appellations like Chianti Classico, Valpolicella Classico, these are the terms. There's few other as well. North Italy is the warmest part of Italy. True or false? This is false. North Italy is one of the coolest part of Italy. Let me know how well you did. Wine people, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope it was fun and simple to understand. It is very important for us to simplify wine information. Please consider subscribing, sharing this video with your friends and colleagues if you believe that the world of wine should be fun, simple to understand, and approachable for everybody. Thank you so much for your time. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay thirsty and wise.